Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is MMADraft.com. I am Frank Trigg, and I'm at Don Best Studios here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And there on the other side of the camera, what you see right now is Matt, the Machine, Ramirez. He's fighting out of San Jose, California, up to Extreme Martial Arts. If you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, we interviewed his father, Ernie, who was a Taekwondo master himself. It seems to be a little bit, Matt, as of late, I've been interviewing a lot of Taekwondo guys. For a long time, we used to make fun of Taekwondo. Those are the guys that, when MMA first started, we loved to beat up on because they couldn't do anything to us. Now, it kind of seems like you guys are taking over the sport just a little bit. Is there a reason for that now?
I think it's just more of a useful technique now, because once you start using your kicks, it's more like, it's a weapon that is underestimated in a sense, because once you start kicking, chopping those legs down, you can't box. You can't shoot usually because your legs are tired, your legs are beat up. And I think the kicking is, it goes from low to high, and then it also goes from high to low, and you don't know what to do. A lot of boxing, a lot of shoots are always low, Boxing, always striking to the face usually. It's hard to have a technique that you can go both ways and be elusive. And I think Taekwondo is a good sport. That's what we're doing here at Extreme Martial Arts. It's working. It's been working for me. I enjoy the sport for sure.
Right now you have a 1-0 amateur record. Is there a number that you have in mind from an amateur standpoint that you're going to go, okay, once I hit 10 fights, I'm going to try to make the jump to pro, or is there just you just kind of feeling it out fight by fight?
I don't really have a goal of winning and losing. I just want to get in there, get as much experience as I can as an amateur, and then if people like what they see, or they see my skill set and they see I'm ready for this, then by all means I'm ready to go whatever direction the fans and whatever direction the pros think that I'm ready for. Because the thing is, I can't tell when I'm ready, in a sense. It's about the people that are going to involve themselves with me and push me so that I'm ready. Because sometimes I'll see a lot of these fighters say, yeah, I'm going to go pro after this fight, or I'm going to go pro after this next fight. And I'm like, how do you know? You can't just set a goal without someone backing you up, or set a goal without someone, there for you, in a sense, to go pro. And that's what a lot of these guys, though, I think don't realize, that it's a sport. Right. It's a sport. You got to grow. You can't just be like, I'm going to do this, and then that, and then this, and then make it. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way.
Well, I have 2 younger kids, and obviously your father's been your coach since you were little. You started competing in Taekwondo when you were 6 years old and compete all the way through to your 18. So that's a long time in one sport. Then you're making a transition to MMA. How influential has it been as your father as being your coach and your master through this whole game? Because as a father, I'm kind of nervous about coaching my kids in anything. I want to keep that separation, but you guys had the same household, the same upbringing. You were underneath his instruction. So how'd that work out for you?
It was rough. It was rough, because, once practice ended, it went home. You didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, you didn't do this right. Time to diet, time to do this. It's nonstop. But I think that the constant pressure, that constant control, it made me who I am, in a sense that I have that self-discipline, I have the control, the confidence in myself to get the job done. And I thank my dad a lot, because since I was 11 years old, been my coach throughout till now, pretty much, and that's the way I'm going to keep it. I'm going to have people eventually, be by my side to, work on my boxing, work on my striking, work on my wrestling, but my dad is always going to be there no matter what, because he's the one that's been there for me, and he's my family. He's my dad, so that's just how it is. And the whole thing of Taekwondo is the whole respect factor, loyalty, and I'm a martial artist. I'm not just a brawler, And the whole martial arts aspect in me is that I really want to, show that and and be a good influence on the sport, and that's what I'm gonna do.
No, your weight class is 125 pounds. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and obviously everybody wants to get the UFC. That's the next step. So after you get through and your father and your training staff tells you, hey, look, you're ready for the pro ranks. You get 4 or 5 pro fights after having a long amateur career. You make that jump into the UFC. Obviously, everybody wants to be the guy. Once they're in the big leagues, you want to be the guy. You want to be the John Jones, the Anderson Silvas, the Uriah Fabers. You want to be those guys that everyone talks about when you're in there. Mm-hmm. For you, what's the toughest thing you have to learn of MMA? Because for you, you're obviously a great striker and kicker, but then you have the wrestling and the ground game. Of the wrestling and the ground game, what's the toughest one for you to try to pick up and master right now?
Well, I've been working on my JIT, from 2 years. I've been working on it for 2 years and a half. 2 years and a half. So been constantly evolving, constantly picking up things here and there. And the main thing I want to grasp for sure is the transition between striking to takedown. Because I know that once I open someone up, I want to be able to take them down and beat them at their own game, if that is their game. Because the thing is, though, if you can beat someone up in your game, that's good. But if you can beat someone up in their game, that's even better. And that just separates, the people that aren't at that level yet. And I want to try to be on that level, to try to surpass, these people that have that one dimension of fighting that, just want to strike, just want to wrestle, just want to grapple. Like, I don't want to be that. I want to be the guy that's kind of like well-rounded and respected, not just, oh, I'm going to take this guy down and beat him up because he doesn't have no ground game, So I've been working on my ground game, still stiffing up my boxing, and, boxing is when I say one of the things I'm trying to still, master. But my ground game, I think, is okay, because I'm a little stocky little fellow, so I have the whole, like, where to distribute my weight here and there, use my quads, get that shot in here and there. So you just gotta work at everything. So.
Do you have your next amateur fight scheduled?
Actually, I do. February 16th in actually Northern California, Salinas.
Oh, okay. Do you have an opponent pick?
Yes, I do. Corey Carreno, I believe.
Okay.
He's also, I think he's 2-0 or 2-1, I believe.
Okay. So a step up in competition, but not too far out of the range, which is smart.
Yeah.
I know too many guys that go from a 1-0 amateur record, all of a sudden they're fighting somebody that's 8-0 amateur, and it's too big of a jump. They take the small steps.
The thing with amateur, though, is like, I want to take those baby steps, because, like I said, it's a learning process, and like a martial arts, you don't just go in there fighting a black belt if you're a white belt. It makes no sense. You got to work your way up, white to green, or green to blue, blue to red, black, then they go black. Then you see all the top-notch level. You see the top-notch competition, and that's not until what, pro, UFC. Right. That's where you see it, and that's what I want to be. Well, try to.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Matt the Machine Ramirez. I'm Frank Trigg here in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is MMA Draft. We'll see you guys here next time.